In this video, we're going to talk very briefly about some of the basic features of your OS X operating system. So here at school, you have a number of different features that you can access in OS X. First off, I want to talk about the dock. So your main programs will be in the dock. You have your web browsers and your Finder. You will not see your Microsoft Office options. And so the first thing I want to discuss with you is how to access those. So the first thing we want to do is we want to click on our Finder and go to Applications. Under Applications, you can do a quick search here for Word, and you will find that Microsoft Word will come up. Also, and if you would prefer not to do a search, under Applications, you can find Microsoft Office 2008, and then you'll see a list of your programs here. Now, many of you are going to want to try to drag this off. You're going to want to try to drag this off and put it on your desktop. However, creating a shortcut like that will only work during one login. It will work during the current login, but when you log out and come back in, you will not be able to access Microsoft Word. So it's important for you to understand that you need to go to your Applications folder each time that you access Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or Excel. Some other things that I want to make note of are how to find and access different programs. So it's important to note that up here in the top left-hand corner, you will see the current program that you are using. So you notice that once I clicked on a different program, now I can tell that I'm in Safari. And sometimes we have issues with that when, say, we've got two windows tiled next to each other, like I'm doing here. The darker gray window is the window that is we're using Safari right now. The other way to tell is to look up here in the top left-hand corner. So in order to access Microsoft Word, we need to click on it and make that window active. And you'll see how Safari has now turned to a light gray. And I've seen some of you struggle with that as you kind of begin using our operating system. A couple of other notes that I want to make about files specifically. When we save files, we want to make sure that we're saving them in the correct location. So I want to do a file save as the first time I'm saving a file. When I do a file save as, I'll get a pop-up window. Now many of you are going to have a view that looks like this. You have your document name here, and then what we call our file extension. And you learned about that in your vocabulary. So we want to make sure that our file extension stays. Do not delete the file extension, because if you delete the file extension, then Microsoft Word or any other program won't know how to open that file. The file extension tells the program what type of file it is. So you can change the name to whatever it needs to be, and then it's telling you where it's saving right now. What we always want to do is make sure that we click this drop down arrow and we can get a full view of where we're saving this. The default save location is going to be in Documents. We want to make sure that we're saving it to our desktop in our Computer Applications folder. But I want you to understand the full range here of where you can save documents. You can save your documents in the Documents folder, and you can create new folders inside of here, or you can save them on your desktop. For example, I have a Computer Applications folder. I would put it in my Computer Applications folder and hit save. If I wanted to create a new folder inside of here, I can do that as well. But it's important, particularly the first time you're saving a file, that you're saving it in the correct location. The final thing I want to talk to you about is downloads. So let's say that I downloaded a file from Schoology, and I need to go to my downloads and I'm going to access it. So I just have this file that I'm using for an example. I have put the or opened this from my downloads. So if I did a file save right now, this is going to save the file in my downloads. I don't ever want to save a file in my downloads. I always want to place it in one of my home directory folders so that it will be either my desktop or my documents. So I want to do a file save as. And you can see that the first place it's wanting to save it right here is in my downloads. We don't want to put anything on our downloads that we would want to keep. So I would have clicked on my desktop and then I would put it in my computer applications folder. That's really important for you to understand so that you know where to go to access these files. You always want to try to save your files in the same location so you're not lost having to try to find those files. Something that you can do if you've lost a file and you know you saved it somewhere, you can always do a file open recent, and then you can see the most recent files that I have opened in Microsoft Word. We don't want to get in the habit of doing that because it only keeps a very current, a short list of files that we have opened, and we get a hodgepodge of places that we've saved those files, and so we don't have a general location where we save those files. So we want to avoid having to use that practice in order to save files. I hope this clarifies some items for OS X. Thank you for watching.